Welcome back to the Honda project, and this time we're mainly going to be cocking about. Yes, we got the tank on because we were looking at that. I'd almost forgotten how cool this paint job was. Yeah, it's a long time ago since I did it. Nice. Anyway, problem is the Petcock certainly fits the tank. I'm not sure that the tank actually fits the bike, or came with the bike. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like the normal CB750 tanks. Well, bits of it do, but anyway, problem is this: that the Petcock here, with the tap on the outside, obviously, which is where you need it to operate with, points that way, and carburetors are this way. In fact, right there. So I don't really want the fuel doing a U-turn. No, that would be silly. That's what we want, but then you'd have to reach inside to turn it on and off, and that would be equally silly, if not more so. Trouble is, this thread is too big for my Christmas tree ornament to fathom out what size it is, so I need to make a trip to Ace and see what's what before we can order a Petcock. Meanwhile, I thought I'd fill the brake fluid up. Not my favourite job at the best of times. Bleeding brakes is quite tedious. Turned into a major task. The last thing I wanted to do was disconnect this, because there were two brake lines going into that and getting them all lined up, and yeah, anyway. So I filled the reservoir and pumped the lever a little bit, and nothing came out anywhere. And as you can see, it is now completely disconnected. So that is a gaping open hole, and yet nothing is flowing out. Even when you pump the lever, nothing happening. Nothing happening. Very frustrating. No idea. Faulty unit. So I shall be contacting the eBay seller a year later to ask him what I should do. I'm fairly confident the first piece of advice will be to get lost. Well, I have to say my Chinese is sketchy at best. But it would appear our eBay seller is obliging me by supplying a replacement part. Meanwhile, I've finished off our foot pegs with an end cap that I found at Ace, whilst I was looking for something else. Meanwhile, on the Petcock front, I've been doing some investigation. I found out the exact size. It's a 14mm, 1.5 pitch. Everything online is 14mm, 1 pitch, or 10mm, which is completely out of the question, or 16mm by 1.5, which is also be useless. Undeterred, I struggled on, and I found one in Italy for a moped, hopefully currently winging its way across the pond. And on the same subject, while I was searching around for such things, I think I've determined that the fuel tank on there is actually off a Yamaha XS, about the same era, maybe a 400, maybe a 750, who knows. Anyway, I think it's a Yamaha tank, which explains why the fuel Petcock thing is in the wrong place. Yes, the hole, basically. And the good news is this one goes straight down, so it doesn't matter which way you want to bend it. Yes, we're still cocking about. We have our nice new Petcock, which screws in beautifully. I'm still not sure about the whole angle and bendage involved. I don't think it's going to work. What is it with me and Hondas and fuel tanks? If you remember, or if you've watched the other CB750 series, we had to move the position of the Petcock on that custom fuel tank. And although this is not a custom fuel tank, I think, as I said, it's from a Yamaha, so everything's in the wrong bloody place. As you can see, it's been a gradual process, and I'm not happy with the end result. At the Petcock end, it's a smaller cock than down here, and at that end, as you can see, it's still kinked. So I think we might have to return to the original and move it up the tank a bit, which is a total pain in the arse. Like there, maybe. So, plan B. Block this off with a bolt, seal it up, drill a hole here, put in one of these 10mm rivet nuts, and then we can use the 10mm Petcock with a rubber O-ring and some additional sealant just to make sure we have no leaks. But there's another problem. These rivet nuts have a 10 by 1.5 thread. Of all the size bolts, 10mm have the most variety in terms of pitch. All the damn Petcocks I can find are 1.25, not 1.5, so that's not going to work either. Nothing going my way at this point. Plan C, use the original Petcock, 14 by 1.5, block off the bolt, and weld another one on there. But as you know, I have no welding equipment, so that will involve somebody else again. I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Well, as promised, here it is, all the way from China, and very quickly too, replacement part. Right, let's get that back on and start again with brakes. Well, that certainly works. The good news is we have fluid coming out the caliper. The bad news is we have fluid coming out the caliper. I think we're missing a plug. Yes, in there. A plug missing. Like that one. And this arrived too. It's quite small compared to the 14mm. But I don't think that's a problem, and its cock is just the right size. I know, we're hopping around a bit. But before we go drilling holes in our nice shiny, very cool petrol tank, I think we need to test some theory here. And the first thing that we have a problem with, obviously, is that this is 10 by 1.25, and the rivet nut is 10 by 1.5. So that ain't gonna work. But then I had an idea. Oh dear, I hear you say. If one were to tap a thread for a 10 by 1.25, one would drill a hole of 8.5mm to start with. So what if we took an M8 rivet nut and re-tapped it? We could try that, couldn't we? Except, guess what I haven't got? We've got an M10 by 1, and we've got an M10 by 1.5, and a 9 by 1.25. See what's happening here? Everything a dead end. Well, good news is our plugs have arrived for the brake calipers, and I went ahead and got a matching pair. They won't go inside, they will fit flush to the top, and they've got a little O-ring there that will seal them off, so they look pretty funky. And then we've got our plug for the fuel tank should we require it. It's actually for a oil sump. It's got a little magnet there to attract bits of stuff, which is not a bad idea in a petrol tank either. So there we go. It's quite a strong magnet as well, which makes it fun trying to get it in the hole. But there we go. Let's see if it fits. Yeah, I think that's the right thread. Yeah, it's a little bit grungy, but it's is fitting, so I'm going to leave it like that for now because we're not sure whether we're going to use it or not. And here's our caliper plug ready to go. Starting to get a little pressure on the lever, which is nice. A few little leaks. Leak coming out of this boy here. Tighten that up a bit. Still leaking a little bit out of our plug down there. Need to tighten that up, but only a little bit. So I shall probably spend a couple of hours tightening up all the bolts, make sure we get rid of all those leaks, get it all topped off and bled, and move on to something else. Yeah, well, back onto the unit, the M unit, yeah, because hopefully by then we'll have our starter solenoid. Thanks as always for tuning in, and do tune in again if you haven't already. Subscribe down here somewhere, give the video the thumbs up, apparently that's very important, and make some comments. Always good to hear from you guys. Of course. Encourage others to watch my lunacy.